Shalom everyone, and welcome to the first video in this series of Hebrew vocabulary words. And the word you will be learning today is the Hebrew word for house, which is bayit. So bayit is the Hebrew word for house. And you may have noticed that when I was writing out this letter or sketching out this word, that I wrote the letters M and S after the word house. And the reason why I did that was because those two letters is an abbreviation. M stands for masculine and S stands for singular, because in Hebrew there are no neuter words in the language like in English. There is only masculine and feminine in Hebrew, even if the word has nothing to do with gender. So the word house in Hebrew is a masculine word. So bayit is masculine singular, which means a house, or there's only one house. Okay? If you wanted to say that there were many houses, you would have to use the plural form of this word, and that would be batim. Batim is the plural. And so the word bayit shows up approximately 2,046 times in the Hebrew Bible. That's a lot of times it shows up. So it's probably a good idea to get started on learning this word. Okay, so we're going to take a look at a couple of verses here from the Bible of where this word shows up and how the meaning changes. So in English, you can say the word house, but the word house can also be used in multiple other contexts and in various ways. So we're going to take a look at how the Hebrew word works in the Bible. Okay, so the first passage we'll be taking a look at is Genesis chapter 33, verse 17. And you can open it up in your Bible and follow along. So it says, Jacob built a house for himself. And that word house is bayit. So you can say Jacob built a bayit for himself. So whenever you see the word house now in your Bible, when you're reading in English and you see the word house, say bayit instead. That way you remember the Hebrew word. Okay? So now that is referring to a literal house that has been built, and bayit can refer to that. But it doesn't only have to refer to a literal physical house. In Genesis chapter 7 verse 1, it says, "Enter the ark, you and all your household." That is God speaking to Noah and telling him to enter the ark. The word household over there is bayit. Bayit can also mean household. So it can refer to a literal house, but it can also refer to family, as in a household. Now this word doesn't only mean that, but it can also mean dynasty or family lineage. For example, in 2 Samuel chapter 7 verse 11 and 16, it says, in verse 11, God is telling David that he will make David a house, meaning a dynasty, a family lineage. He's going to preserve David's line. And in verse 16, it says, your house and your kingdom shall endure before me forever. Your throne shall be established forever. And this is God's promise to David. So the word house can be a literal house. It can refer to a household, and it can refer to a family line or dynasty. Now, the other thing it can refer to is the temple. In 1 Kings chapter 6 verse 1, it says, Solomon built the house of the Lord. And so when you say the house of the Lord, you're referring to the temple. So instead of saying house of the Lord, now you can say Solomon built the bayit of the Lord. I know the word bayit can sound a little funny. It sounds like bite, but it's bayit. And so the other meaning the word bayit can have is when it's combined with another letter in Hebrew. If you attach the letter mem to the front of the word bayit, you get the word inside, or like the interior of something. So in Genesis chapter 6 verse 14, God tells Noah to cover the inside and outside of the ark with pitch. And that word over there for inside is bayit, which is the word bayit and the letter mem attached together. And so it can be used in other ways too when you add Hebrew letters to it. Okay, So now whenever you see the word house in your Bible, say Bayit when you're reading it. Okay, so if you're interested in seeing more ways of how the word Bayit is being used in the Bible, I've put a link in the description to a concordance on Bible Hub where it shows all the occurrences of the word Bayit over there in the Bible, and you can see how it's being translated into English and take a look at all the different ways of how it's being translated. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you in the next lesson where we learn another Hebrew word. So until then, shalom and God bless. And don't forget to try and do something fun and interesting to learn this Hebrew word, okay?